Listen to the waterfall. Now that's so peaceful. As that pure spring water flows down along the rocks here in a special secret place. Yep. Few are alive anymore that even know about it, if any, other than me. Yep. Very tranquil, very peaceful. And that water there, whew, is about as pure as it can get. Comes straight out of the rock formations that make up the ridge. And we're currently at the bottom of the last ridge on the Piedmont Plateau. Yep. To our back is the Tallapoosa River and the coastal plains. If we follow this stream as it climbs up through the many ridge steps to the top of the Piedmont Plateau, where I live and where the kitty crew awaits, yeah, it's quite a climb. I should know. I just descended down it in sort of a roundabout way. I didn't follow the stream. I followed an old trail, probably one that was first used by animals, deer and what have you, because I did see many deer tracks along the way. And then the Native Americans would use the animal trails. Later on, the Europeans that would come would use as horse trails. Later, wagon trails, and even to this day, many were made into highways. Yeah, that's a fact. But that's not why we're down here, way down deep at the bottom of the ridges. Yep, the end of the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. If we turn towards the south, we can just keep walking till we reach the Gulf of Mexico. But we're going to have to trek back up along the ridges, and I'm going to follow this ancient stream and listen to its beauty, its tranquil waters. You hear that sound? In my mind, there's more tranquil sound than that of the water flowing down the rocks of a mountain stream. And you thought Alabama was all flat. Little did you know. And for those of you here that are with me, at my side right now, my friends and my family, you'll know just how untrue the statement, Alabama's just flat, is all about. In fact, I should record this for about, 30 minutes to an hour, so I can play it back on those evenings when sleep just won't come, no matter what I do. One of those nights was last night. I finally had to brew up some chamomile tea, and that was just enough to send me on to dreamland. Well, hello there, friends and family, and as you can see, we're way down deep in the woods, the ancient woods. A woods where once upon a time, before the Europeans, the Native Americans walked right along this stream. Probably right along it down to the river that's not too far below, less than 100 yards. And back up to it, to their villages that were along the ridge steps, heading back to the east, where, on top of the Piedmont, is my little home place. But we got out today. First of all, we wanted to take a walk. Walking has so many benefits for your cardio, for your respiratory. Hey, I've been looking into it in depth. Digestive, kidneys, liver. I mean, the simple act of just walking has just a plethora of health benefits. And if you don't believe it, you should look into it. And if you got places like this, natural, spiritual, tranquil places to do it, even though, granted, it took some effort to get to where we're at. Before y'all caught up with me, my friends and family, I've been going at this for about an hour and a half. And that just wasn't a slopping, slow walk, and we didn't drive. No, that was a brisk to moderate walk the whole entire way. Till we got here to where we took a breather. Now, I've got water with me. And I ate before I left. And I got things, some minor things. Got my cell phone for a change. That's a good thing, right? Not that I'm sure there's any coverage way down here where we're at. Haven't looked. Haven't needed to. But I do got, a way to make the fire. I got me a nice folding knife that one of you viewers sent me, I might add. I got my nice water bottle strapped to my side that my daughter and my grandson gave me. But as you can see and hear, we don't have I guess you would say a limited supply of water, do we? There's no scarcity of it. Now many may say, I couldn't drink that. It could have bacteria in it, animal feces. Well, you're absolutely right. It could have all of that. But that's where, having a handy dandy pocket water filter with you or something of that nature would come in right handy right now. It's in my day pack, which I currently don't have on at the moment. But it's not like I'm all that far from the house. I'd say maybe a few miles as the crow flies. As the walking goes, maybe more than that. But since y'all caught up to me down here and I was taking a break, I thought I'd share it with you. And I'd share the fact that, if you're able, I know a lot of y'all are my age or older, or getting close to my age, and we have our issues. We have joint issues, we have arthritis, we have COPD, other respiratory problems, allergies. Ooh, the list just goes on and on and on. But if you can, and you're still able and mobile, and even if you do have one of them scooters or what have you, which are really neat, if you can get out someplace and just ride around and enjoy the natural sounds and the beauty, I think that has a health benefit too. But if you can, just a simple act of walking, don't have to be up and down steep terrain like old Mr. Foolish Tom is doing. No, it can be like I do many a times, just walk in circles around my property or over in the cemetery beside my property. Or I go to nature trails, forever wild places, places that were a lot easier to walk upon than where I'm currently at now. But hey, it's just something to look into. And you don't want to just jump out there and do a whole lot of it. This is something you need to talk to your doctor about. And then ease yourself into it. Yeah. Did I do any of that? Oh no. I'm a pig-headed man. You know how we are. We won't even read the instructions. Oh, but it is a beautiful day. When I started this morning, it was 75. That was watering, feeding kitties, checking the gardens, all that stuff. Then I got my things put together, brush teeth. Check to see if I need to shave, wash up, you know, put on some half decent clean clothes, and head on out. This ain't all I'm going to be doing today. I still got some planting to do when I get back. But there's no better way in my mind to spend the morning than in this kind of setting. I mean, not only is it beautiful, and you can listen to the tranquility, but there's something in the background. Maybe it's all the centuries that humans of one type or another have tread upon this land. Like I say, this was home to the Creek Nation. Right where I'm sitting now, there were several small villages. And, of course, the capital of the Creek Nation was about 5 miles south of where I'm currently sitting. Maybe 7, somewhere in between. So, yeah, it's been populated a long, long time. And, of course, then the Europeans came. And then became the town where I live in now, Taliesin. But when you get out here, this far deep back into the woods, you forget about my little town. You forget about a lot of things. And it's that forgetting part that also has a huge health benefit. Yeah, that's a proven fact. Another thing you might want to look into, just how the sounds and the location of where you're at can have a profound impact on your state of mind, your health, and your well-being. Yeah, that's a fact. And as you might have saw, the light changed. Now, it's partly cloudy or partly sunny today, however you'd like to look at it. We can't see much of the sky, but what light is filtering down to this deep native spring stream changes as the clouds drift by the sun. But I hope you're enjoying this little break with me. And if you would like, I'll let you walk up back to the house with me. What do you say? You up to it? Well, this is what looks behind me. To the south. The stream meanders around there to the right, and it'll follow this little gorge all the way to the river below. But you can see how deep down in the ridge line we are, or at least I think you can, if you look up at where the top of the first ridge is right there. Of course, as we come around, you'll see that's just the first ridge step of at least 4 to 5 more. But there just happens to be a trail here. And for now, it follows this ancient stream. So I'm thinking, if we don't fall in, and that's a big if, we're gonna head up this here trail, which is now used by animals, and occasionally me, and head her on back to the homestead, or the home place as we refer to it. I mean, it could be a homestead, right? See, that water just cascades down so many little steps, tiny waterfalls. Now, in all honesty, it's been quite some time since I've been up this trail that follows this stream. And it's got many unique features that I'll be sharing with you. Some I don't even remember. And we're coming to one right now. You can see it right there. Not sure how we're going to approach this. I think we'll cross. Hold on. We had to sort of make a leap of faith there. Come over to the other side. Oh, look at this waterfall. Are y'all seeing it? Because if you are now some of the very few to have ever seen this. Guaranteed to have never seen it on YouTube or upon the internet. And if we wanted to cool off, we have this nice shallow pool. And if I didn't have all of y'all with me right now, and the kitty crew worried about me, ooh, I'd slip off my shoes and my socks and dangle my feet off in that for a while. Probably fall asleep listening to the water. And the water has cut through this stone for so many centuries. It's actually cut ways right through it. I'll show them to you as we head on up, which is going to take some doing, by the way. Hopefully we won't fall in. Water just comes down in steps. Ever so beautiful. Now I'm loving it. I mean, I'm sure over the course of centuries, many of people have sat here and slipped off their shoes, their boots, their sandals, moccasins, and cooled their feet in this stream. You can see the tiny minnows. The stream is alive. But it's alive in more ways than one. And that's the music it's playing that is filling my heart and my mind with peace. Good save. Appreciate that, friend and family. Those rocks were slippery. Well, as you may have saw or didn't see, that took some doing to climb up there. And one foot got a little damp. And right here you can see how that water has cut that narrow channel right through this stone. And this particular stone is granite. Yeah, that's what the Piedmont Plateau is made of. Granite and quartz. Don't get no harder than that except diamond. Beautiful gurgling sound it makes right there. And what you might not be able to feel, and of course you can't hear, there's an ever so slight breeze coming down following this stream. In fact, once upon a time right here, this was a trail too. It leads further up on the ridge top, that way, to the south. In fact, wagons once came across right here too. Yes, they did. Now if we go this way, more to the north, to northeast, we'll head back to my home place. But since I climbed on up here, of course I knew this old trail was here, and I knew that's the way I wanted to take it back to my little patch of paradise. Yeah, I could follow the stream, we could, but it starts to get a little rough, as you have to make it through the rhododendrons. It's quite grown up, as you can see, but quite beautiful back in there. And it just meanders all through this lower gorge until you come to these steps where we're currently at. The first one, we were at the bottom. Now we're on the first step of the ridge, and we'll be descending or ascending to the second, which lies right in front of us, currently to the north, before it veers off eastwardly. But I don't know about y'all, but I could sit here stretched out on these rocks, yeah, for the rest of the day. I'm sure I'd fall asleep directly. Not sure about y'all. But we got no time for that. We got things to do, and a place to be, and a kitty crew expecting us there. Now I'm sure Mr. Gray and Spooky, if not Speedy, maybe Cleo, are quite concerned. I snuck off and didn't let them see which way I went. Caught them off guard while they were snacking on some kit and caboodle and some treats. Well, we can always come back down here some other time, if y'all would like. Maybe make up some sandwiches. Yeah. Or hey, bring along some of that picnic-friendly fried chicken. Yeah. Some mustard potato salad, so it won't go bad. Or if we want to carry a cooler, we can pretty much bring whatever we want. They didn't have that luxury back in the day. Well, there's no time like now to start climbing. Then we can always pause for a minute to take a breather. So y'all just yell out if you need one. Woo! Get back in that full shade. And that light breeze coming down this ridge line, that really helps us. Yep, thought so. We're turning east. Well, east-northeast. And that's where we were. Way down yonder. Don't look like it. It's that far down, does it? But we wouldn't want to slip, would we? See something over here off the trail. Looks a little interesting. Well, not sure what it is. Sort of got an idea. Looks like what we refer to as a mud hornet nest. Ooh, and that's a big one. I don't know where they are right now. Maybe they've moved on. That could have been bad. You definitely don't want to run into a hive of them and disturb them. I think that one's an old one. Yep. So we're going to leave it be and get back on the trail. And we're just constantly ascending. And we get up to here. And we can either go to the right or we can go back to the left. I think we'll take the right lane. Not sure if that was a good decision, but I'm thinking it was. And we're still heading north. In fact, in all honesty, we're heading back up the way I came in, other than the fact that I bypassed that little side trail to the left, which would have took us down to that beautiful waterfall in short order. I kept following this one down to the very bottom of the ridges and the gorge right before it empties out into the lake. Well, for all intents and purposes, we're now on top of the Piedmont Plateau. We're still rising somewhat in elevation, but nowhere near as steep as we were once climbing there ways back. But the way these trails go, they follow the ridge lines and they'll go up to the top. They meander on down, maybe half a ridge or more, and they'll go back to the top. That's what we're currently involved in. A little bit of up, then down, and then back up again, and all around. Well, it looks like we'll be climbing again. It's that climbing that gets that heart pumping. Get your lungs working. One thing I try to do, never stop on the uphill grade. Try to make it to the top before I take a breather. Well, we've come to an intersection of sorts. The trail we're walking that we climbed up on the top of the ridge on continues in front of us, but then it hooks around to the west. And I know it descends back down to the lake and river below the ridge line. That's not where we're going to go for today. We've been at this a while before all of y'all caught up with me. We're going to take this branch to the right here. So we're going to turn on our blinker and we're going to head this way. Because this will head back eastwardly where the old home place is awaiting us. Well, it was when we left it this morning. The woods is dead quiet now. Well, it's not like the animals see many of us humans back in here anymore. You can see right here, there was a wildfire some time back. May have been from a lightning strike. Who knows? Of course, from many, many, many years ago. See, people would come back, and these became logging roads. And people that were too cheap to pay to take their trash to the dump, yep, they'd come on people's property and throw it out. This isn't recent. This has been here ever since I've lived here. Going on 28 years. As far as I know, since I've lived here, we sort of kind of put a stop to illegal dumping back on this stretch of land. Just saying. I enjoy the quiet. You can't even hear a car back here. Occasionally you can hear a jet way up in the sky. Because we're close to the jet path between Montgomery and Atlanta. In fact, I can hear one way above my head as we walk now. There's all kinds of trees in here. We got beech, hickory, longleaf pine, several species of oak, sweet gum, sour gum, oh yeah, hackberry, shagbark hickories, shellbark hickories, quite diverse. Wild pecan. Well, went from partly sunny to mostly cloudy. By the looks of it, I can't see much of the sky above me through the thick canopy. This is sort of like riding in the Focus. Instead of all y'all riding, I'm toting you. There's an old hickory. It got blowed down. Leaned up against that other hickory. Well, hopefully it stays there till we get under it. Because that would hurt. Yep. We made it. This will clear out your lungs. Yes, it will. Especially on this constant slight upgrade. Not much, but just enough to know you're heading up instead of heading down. I was hoping to see some mushrooms, because I've been having all kinds pop up on the home place, but I haven't seen a one here. There's some storm damage right there. Of course, those pines were dead. It's almost like a little tornado dropped down in here. Snapped 2 or 3 of them off. Won't be long now. We'll be coming out of the big woods to where, oh, back in the fall of 2020, there was a big pine woods next to where we are. Yep, I can see it lightening up ahead. That's been all logged off now. Yep, and it was clear cut. But I'm not upset. First of all, it wasn't my land. Second of all, that's exactly what its purpose was. It was planted for to be made into paper or lumber. And for going on 28 years I've been living here, it had been growing. And it had actually gotten past its prime. It needed to be cut because the trees were dying. I know if you paid attention, you've seen a lot of dead pine in the forest where we're at, even though it's predominantly hardwoods. And that's all because of the pine bark beetle that has ravaged pretty much, for the most part, North America. All parts of America, Canada, Alaska, and where have you. Just like a big giant wave that swept across the country. But the pines are making a comeback. That's all you can ask for. Now I know once we break out of these trees, woo, it's going to be toasty up here. That I know. But at least we'll finally be on the tip top of the plateau. Because it's getting a little bit steep right here before we break out on top. And like, there's so much diversity in this woods. There's some possum grapes right there. Or are they muscadines? Hard for me to tell. I'm thinking those are muscadine. I see some of that greenbrier too. It's everywhere. But it is an excellent wild edible food source. Remember that. Both the tender young sprouts, the roots, and what I didn't realize till here recently, even the berries. I gotta blow my nose, excuse me. Well, now that we've taken care of those snaws, let's head her on up here. We're gonna be breaking out of this deep dark forest into the clear cut of what was that there piney woods that, like I say, had been planted, I figured, about over Lord, more than 60 years back. Because I actually seen at least part of it on some aerial photography of this area back in the early 40s. And there it stood. So yeah, it was way overdue for being logged. And it's been logged. So, we're going to take this trail and we're going to head her on back to the house. Not a lot to see. It is just like you see it now. But don't despair. It's currently in a state of regenerative or regeneration and renewal. It surely is. I can see all different kinds of hardwoods now popping up where once were nothing but pines. I see oaks of every nature, sweet gum, sour gum, hickories, like right before me, wild cherry, pecan, many different types, species of oaks, and pine. In time, it'll look like it once did. See, nothing remains the same. And the one thing I'll say about wood, if managed properly, not only is it a renewable resource, but it can have benefits to the land, especially marginal land that could grow nothing else. Not good for crops or any other type of farming. And if you knew, this land would be right in that category. Good for trees, not too much else. So, it has its benefits. Here again, if managed properly. Well, I think most of you know where we're at now. Been here many times before. Yep. Surely you have. We're coming in to a place where there was an old homestead decades ago. And we often come here to find peace and tranquility. Not that it's all that far from the home place. And that's where we normally end these walks. Right here. Once we get into the shady part. Over here by the sorghum cane that we showed you a month or two back. And as you can see, it's just doing just fine. Growing skyward it is. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here. And we needed that, because we were up on top of the ridge line here in the blazing sun. As you can see, all that nice green ryegrass is dying off. But don't fret. Yep, it's reseeded. It'll be back. Come fall and winter into the early spring. Happens every year. And it will, until this is developed too. And one day that will happen. Because like I keep saying, all things change in time. The land, the people, the places, the politics, the beliefs, and the opinions. All things change. Not always for the better. And here we're back at where our leek bed was. Well, not ours. One had been here most likely for decades. And you can see it has died on off and is rotting away. But never fear, it too is in a stage of regeneration and renewal. As you can see, the leek scapes that I showed you in a previous video had sprouted. Now there are these big seed clusters. Hundreds upon hundreds of seeds waiting to be pollinated. And they have. And once they dry, they'll break off that head. And they'll reseed this patch again. There's another head of them over there. 2 more over there. And 2 right here. Of course, they'll get a little help from the old man. He'll snip them off when they're a little bit drier and I'll once again propagate the seed. Not only here, but as we once did over that way where I've showed you the second patch. That was not natural. That was Mr. Tom. And this year, we're going to make a few more. Just saying. So y'all, we're going to head on out. And when we get to the front porch, we'll chat a bit. Grab some Gatorade maybe. Or, hey, some Fanta. Who knows? Chit chat before we call it a done day. So hey, I'll see you there in just a moment. Well, there you are, friend and family. I see you caught up with me again out here on the front porch. Yep, and our little walk's over. Now, I don't know how much of it you took along with me, but for me today, it was over 3 hours. You know, we left here, walked across the top of the Piedmont Plateau, descended down the ridge lines to the river basin below and the lake down at the bottom of the ridge. And there, we backtracked up that ancient stream till we got to that place where we ran into y'all, where the water was cascading down over that rock feature, ever so peacefully, playing the music of serenity and tranquility, I might add, or so I thought. I could have spent the day there, but then we pushed on and followed that stream further on up through the ridge to where we came to another waterfall with several pools where, if you would have wanted, we could have took our shoes or boots off, of course socks too, and rolled up our pants and cooled our feet off a while. Now, I almost did, but we needed to press on. Yeah, we need to get back to the old home place. Spooky and Mr. Gray were waiting for me. Of course, they're currently now napping underneath the holly over by the driveway. Right, Mr. Gray? Spooky? You want to come over and see me? No, they're all tuckered out. They were extremely worried, you know. But there was no need for worry. I do my walks. I may not do one every day because I do a lot of walking around the old home place here, as well as a lot of physical labor, as you've seen. But the walking, like I said, I did a lot of reading on it because I see a lot of people close to my age and older doing a lot of walking in the early morning hours before it gets too hot, and later in the later evening hours after 6 when it starts to cool down some. You know, the sun gets a little lower. Yeah, shadows get a little long. Got a better chance of staying in the shade. And about half of the walk was in the deep, dark woods. Half was in the blazing sun. Yeah, because once we popped out on top of the ridge, yeah, pretty much bare ground now. That land's in transition. But it won't be long for it'll be growing and productive again. Such, like I say, all things in life change. At least for that ground, it's a renewable change, a good change, one for the future. But now that we're back at the house and I can see Speedy or Cleo heading on over too, I gotta see about getting the kitty crew a snack, grabbing me a ice cold drink, and hey, let me know what you want. I'll bring you one out too. I think we got some great Fanta, some V8, and some lemon lime Gatorade, I'm thinking. So let me know. Yep, there comes Cleo. Cleo, were you worried? You were? You're worried about you? Oh no, that is Speedy. Speedy. My little Speedy. Yep. Come on. You worried? Yep. Scraped her fur off some. Not sure what happened there. That happened a while back. Whew. You was worried about Papa, weren't you, Speedwell? Get you some kit caboodle if there's any left. If not, let me know. I'm running in now to get more. Well, there you have it. Speedy, she was concerned. As was, I'm sure, is Mr. Gray and Spooky. Right over there. Let me see if I can zoom in on them for y'all. Maybe now you can see him. Mr. Gray's all Chinese-eyed, and Spooky, his buddy, is zonked out cold on the right. But hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the walk. I hope you'll take a look into the benefits of walking and talk it over with your doctor and see if it can be beneficial to you too. If not, you're always welcome to walk with me. So until I, Spooky, Speedy behind me, Cleo somewhere, Mr. Gray, sometimes Elrod Magoo and Heathcliff, and a little Gracie, and Lilybit, see y'all on the next video. Y'all take care out there. Stay safe. Hey, stay cool and hydrated. And may God bless you as you bless others. Till we see you on that next video. Goodbye for now. Speedy, was you worried about Papa? You was. You was worried. Well, you relax there. I'm going to do a little breather myself, and then we'll run in and get us something to drink, okay? What do you want? Oh, you want sweet tea? Yeah, well, I'll have to make that. I think I got some ice. No, okay. I'll make you some, just for you. Okay? You're my baby. My little princess.